I have to start with General MacArthur. He said, I shall return. When he returned, he had 2 regiments of Filipinos. That was the 1st and 2nd Regiment Filipinos. Those were the first Filipinos that came to the United States. There were some Ilocanos, Pampangueños, and Visayans. But now when they arrived in the Philippines, the Philippine Scout told them, how come you came here when the war is over? So they said, well, General MacArthur says we had to clean the hills. Yeah, we had to mop up these hills full of Japanese. But instead, they all get married to the Filipino girls. They married this, some of them were stationed in Visayan Island. So when they married these Visayan girls and these Ilocano soldiers, they brought them to Ilocano province. Ilocos. Yeah, Ilocos. Okay. That is over with the First Filipino Regiment. But of course, they are jealous of the Philippine Scouts. Because every time we have a parade, especially in San Francisco, very few Philippine Scouts, but they are also there. But mostly Filipinos, the Scouts are very active, attractive, that is. So now, being a Filipino, I have read some old newspapers, and I read these Filipinos, they are good, very good musicians. Some of them, they were playing in Paris. Some of them, they were playing in Hong Kong because they like the Filipino music. And some, maybe tourists in Hong Kong, they don't like the Chinese music. So, in Paris, they gathered all these musicians, they make them soldiers. So they got them fighting for them. They had a good achievement. That is a Filipino. Now, again, another occasion that what happened in the ship where I was working. We went to Cartagena to get some soldier to fight in Korea. So coming home to Cartagena, we brought those soldiers from Korea. And I happened to go down to their compartment. And the captain says, attention, all the soldiers stand at attention. I was surprised. What was that for? It was for me. Wow. So I said, Captain, what's that for? He says, you see the soldiers? I said, yeah. Without the Filipino regiment, that was the combat team, Philippine Army. Without those Filipino soldiers, all these guys are dead. He said, that's why we salute you. That is also a Filipino. Now, Another one. I am asking how it did happen. Why those ships, the Japanese ships, were loaded with American prisoners, were torpedoed by American submarines. Why some of the Filipino spies did not detect that? They never noticed they were loading these Americans. What happened to the radio that was brought by the submarine operated by this Filipino in Amman? Mr. Chris, what happened? Why did they not detect?
I think it took too long to get the messages from Manila up into the mountains. They were already gone by the time the message got transferred from the cargo.
Okay, thank you. Now, hold it.
I would like to add a little to that. In the beginning, some of the messages did get through, and some of the initial POW transport ships were allowed through. Towards the end of the war, we blockaded all Japanese shipping. At that point, there was a decision to bomb or torpedo any Japanese ship, whether they had POWs or not.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Would you recognize yourself, ma'am?
My name is Nancy Craig. I have been very active in the American Defenders of the Tannen Corregidor group. And through that group, and some of the people in it who do a lot of research, I have learned a lot about this part of the war. My father, I was in the Philippines at the beginning. My father was an Army doctor. We were stationed in Manila. I came back with my mom in May of '41 when all the dependents were taken home, left. And my dad died on the Enora Maru, which was the middle of the last three series of ships.
My husband was on that
Out
one
of
too.
out of Philippines on the Enora Maru.
And then he made it to
But he made
Korea. I mean, made it to Japan on the third ship,
Right, that was the Brazil
the
Maru.
Brazil Maru,
Right.
right. And the Orinoco Maru was also sunk from
Right.
under them and they had to swim off that.
Right, right. The Orinoco Maru left from Manila, was sunk in Subic Bay. The men who were not killed swam ashore, were rounded up, kept under horrible conditions, and then eventually loaded onto the Brazil Maru and the Enora Maru.
Yeah,